Is it really possible for a tiny tweak to your morning coffee routine to ignite your metabolism and put your body into full fat-burning mode for the rest of the day?
Check out the link in the video description now and transform your morning coffee into a metabolism-boosting super drink.
Vladimir Putin has landed in North Korea for a 2-day summit with his axis of evil ally Kim Jong-un. Tyrants Kim, 40, and Putin, 71, are expected to reinforce their strong relationship after vowing to forge a new world order as part of the Russian leader's first visit to the dictatorship state in 24 years. Putin touched down in Russia's Far East early on Tuesday morning before making a 3-hour flight across the border later that day. Russia's president was seen emerging from his prestigious Il-96 plane in Yakutsk, the coldest city on Earth, flanked by his large security team. Ahead of his planned visit, Putin pledged his support for North Korea in a letter published by state media. He thanked the country for firmly supporting his brutal and illegal war in Ukraine. Putin also promised to help defend North Korea's interests despite what he called U.S. pressure, blackmail, and military threats. Before he announced the two countries would look at developing trade and payment systems away from the West. In the North Korean capital of Pyongyang, huge banners have been strewn up across the city showing off Putin's snarling grin. Some of the signs have been hung from lampposts with the words "We ardently welcome President Putin" stuck across them along with Russian flags. Putin arrived in North Korea flanked by several of his top Kremlin officials. These included Deputy Prime Minister Denis Manturov, Defense Minister Andrei Belousov and Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, according to his foreign policy advisor, Yuri Ushakov. Mr. Ushakov also announced that a number of highly significant documents will be signed during the visit. North Korea has responded to Putin's generosity in recent months by agreeing to further strategic and tactical cooperation with Russia. The two tyrant-led nations are both looking to ramp up a united front against the United States, it has been said. In January, Kim sent delegates to Moscow following the North Korean leader's own trip there in September last year. He is trying to regain his footing as he navigates a worsening nuclear stalemate with Washington, Seoul, and Tokyo. Tensions on the Korean peninsula are at their highest point in years as Kim continues to use Russia's chilling invasion of Ukraine as a distraction to ramp up his own weapons testing. Kim has also been active with North Korean military demonstrations. The U.S. and its Western allies have accused North Korea of aiding Vlad by supplying Russia with arms, including ballistic missiles, to use in Ukraine. North Korea described the allegations as absurd. Both countries are under rafts of UN sanctions. Pyongyang since 2006 over banned nuclear and ballistic missile programs and Moscow over the invasion of Ukraine. North Korea said Putin's visit showed bilateral ties are getting stronger day by day, the Korean Central News Agency reported. And it would give fresh vitality to the development of the good neighborly cooperative relations between the two countries, it added. But the U.S. has voiced concern about the trip due to the security implications for South Korea, as well as Ukraine. North and South Korea have remained technically at war since their 1950-53 conflict, and the border dividing them is one of the most heavily fortified in the world. National Security Council spokesman John Kirby said, "We know North Korean ballistic missiles are still being used to hit Ukrainian targets, and there could be some reciprocity here that could affect security on the Korean peninsula." Highlighting the escalating security concerns, South Korea said its troops fired at soldiers from the north who briefly crossed the border on Tuesday before retreating. The South's military said it believed the soldiers accidentally crossed as they were fortifying the border, but said some were wounded after detonating landmines. NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg said Putin's trip showed how he was dependent on authoritarian leaders. Their closest friends and the biggest supporters of the Russian war effort, war of aggression, are North Korea, Iran and China, he said. Ukraine's Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba urged the West to counter the lonely bromance between Putin and Kim by increasing arms supplies to Kyiv. Kuleba said, "The best way to respond to it is to continue strengthening the diplomatic coalition for just and lasting peace."